Good morning. Hello, everybody. Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, very well. Cold and hot. We're talking about it because I learned so much. Good. Which is always a good thing, right? Yeah. I don't know who else is coming for sure today. I haven't seen anyone. Well, I saw Jason over yesterday. I'm home. What are we gonna do? Because I'm home early.
Yeah, no, she said she saw you, I said, I don't think she's home yet. Then I got your message.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, that new straps.
They're just different straps. We're gonna do something a little different today.
You know what? Just, we've got one for you, just put it over here, I'm just not saying it.
How have you been?
What's your birthday? We're lunch, we know what that is. I am leaving tomorrow. Well, there's nothing I get back.
Okay. Is that all I can do at Girls Camp?
Next week. I'm not sure if I did a little bit.
That's what I decided.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think.
Yeah, so I'm going to Colorado tomorrow, we got it Monday, so it's right here quick.
Okay, what was it about when we get back
Okay, what else do you want? Should I call the brother somewhere?
I talked with them yesterday. They probably forgotten already.
Then what?
They probably have forgotten already.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
And I don't know about,
I think December, you're out of town, I think. I just saw the lawn house looks.
oh, does it? Okay.
Guess what?
Well, then maybe they are. We'll just go see it tonight. Because we also have some bodies online.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, I'll just put that there. Oh, we need bodies. That doesn't look lighter. Does that look lighter than you?
I think it looks dark.
That's not going very right.
Well, I guess we won't do anything else until we see the white of their eyes.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt. So I know it's time to start. So anything particular you want to work on? If you're the only one here, you get to choose.
So I cannot get that.
You may not be able to,
Say that.
but at that same time, if we know how to make it a little better every day, ask not to. Okay. Every time I get in here, they've changed how you do this.
Oh, big change. I don't do change.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. All right, we're going to work psoas today because we can. Two things I wanted to really focus on that have been amazing to me, just some new insights. And I'll send out, and I'll include that in the notes here as well. But I am close enough that my feet can be seen online. And I think we need to see those. And I didn't put me off. So go ahead and start with the ball, rolling around on your feet. You notice I'm sitting up on a blanket. It gets you a little higher. I still can't see my feet. And there are new balls. Yep. There we go. Yeah, now you can see my feet. So I'm just rolling around on those. So 2 thoughts. There's a dance teacher, professor at BYU that put out a little video. I actually put it on Facebook, but I also will include it here. And I've got to do the link onto Instagram, and I'll try to leave just kind of in the show notes below, but he talks about movement and movement of the body. He actually plays Spider-Man on Broadway. So his body can do lots of things. But he talks about, and he just says, rather than we have our set movements, right? This is how I do this, this is how I do that. He's like, our muscles thrive on confusion, on mixing it up, on moving in a different way. And that's kind of some of the stuff we do in here, right? I just was like, yes, yes, yes. So I was just, just this. So kind of just while you've got the ball under the foot, just start kind of wiggling, I mean, how can this body, and then being so full of gratitude for a body that can wiggle. Because what happens is we stop moving, right? And we do the same way, and our body adapts, but the other muscles don't get involved. And so there isn't a requirement. They're like, oh, she doesn't want to use me. I don't need to work anymore. And then when we go to work that way, that muscle's not ready. So that's one thought. The second thought was, as I was reading in the Doctrine and Covenants, section 63 this week, okay? There's a question. He tells them to do something. The Lord tells the people to do something, but not in haste, because haste will bring confusion, and confusion leads to pestilence. I thought that was a really funny phrase, that confusion leads to pestilence.
What?
Pestilence. And pestilence, my view, bugs that get into stuff. So okay, that's not making any sense. So I kind of get into the dictionary and start looking up. Pestilence is anything that can devastate, can perturb, annoy. And I'm like, that's so as a pestilence, right?
Yes.
And if we think it's got to be done in haste to fix, and we're not okay with the process, we can create that kind of confusion in that. So anyway, those were some of my thoughts. Welcome to my brain. Okay. So as one of the things that the ball does, right, is we get under there and we find a place that is like, oh, that's a little painful, right? And we get there and we want to stay there. And we want to feel that, and we're okay with it, and we don't move off it hastily, right? We stay there. So I am totally taking, this is totally Debbie's interpretation. Also, welcome to my life. To apply scripture to how our bodies move and how they function. Excites me. So go ahead and change to the other foot. Sometimes, we want, and there are some things we have to do a set way. There are certain things you've got to be obedient, right? But I don't know, I just it's kind of blowing my mind that this idea of haste. So if we want to go, for instance, on a diet, I don't know, I've started diets, yes? You immediately want results. You want them in haste. And the results are rare, unless the diet is way extreme, which in my opinion, is not of value. The Lord doesn't ask us to move in haste. He asks us to move. He asks us to be moving, to go forward. So, go ahead, you've got the foot, let's find some places again. So if we want to shift how our bodies move, then we need to shift our bodies. If we want to change our eating habits, then we have to do things differently. Go ahead and add a few twists onto this. Notice that as you start fiddling and wiggling in this body, right, it starts to kind of soften. You get to a point where it's like, oh, that feels good, right? Rather than, oh man, I'm tight. But nothing's changed. We're just doing this continual kind of movement. So, go ahead and lose the ball. Just put it behind you if you want. Close your eyes. Take some breath. One more time, I'm going to just kind of bring up this. This is another thought that has come. When we breathe, go ahead and breathe quickly. Fast. You don't feel relaxed. You feel your body starting to amp up. If you kept going like this, you might get lightheaded. So stop. And now breathe slow, not in haste. Letting the inhale just expand, not going to a place of contention or a place that is like, oh, I have to hold this on. Don't go through that strain. Go to a place and just go, oh, it's time for me to exhale. This is what our breath does all day long. Inhaling and exhaling. Willingness to just take it slow, as is. And then blink open your eyes. So, those are just my thoughts for today. Some things that I've learned, okay? So grab your ball again. This time I want you to sit. So we're gonna use opposite the psoas. Psoas is a hip flexor, right? It pulls the leg in. The glutes are an extensor. It pulls the leg down and long. So it extends this muscle. So I want you to sit right on your sit bone, right kind of there. Do you feel it with the blanket? Not much. So stand, take your blanket out. I want you to feel this one. Sit, just right there on that ball. Okay, can you feel that now? Yeah, and just wiggle. So you're just gonna move around on that ball. It's underneath, so yeah. Finding that, okay, moving and using the hamstring muscle. You can even get it to the outside of the thigh and work a little bit. It's still some hamstring, but it's also the abductor that takes us away, takes the muscle, the legs away from the body. Okay, it doesn't take the muscle away from the body. Okay, how's that? Yeah. So go ahead and you can go all the way back and all the way forward. You're just looking for kind of that work. It's a compress. It's the same thing we do with the ball on our feet. Okay. So now go ahead and just take it out and sit and notice that leg. Can you feel that warmth and that tingle? Yeah. Other side. Stick it under. Okay. So I use these driving. I have just been driving across the Midwest a long time. Okay. This ball was very beneficial in the sitting for so long to keep it blood flow. Because yes, the blood continues to flow through the body, but blood flows better with movement, right? We know that. So finding that, go all the way back if you want to go. If you find that like right in the middle of that hamstring, the back of that thigh is a little tight, you know, you can totally go right there and find. So you're just kind of doing the same thing we do with the ball on our feet, we're doing here. Okay, and it is, so this also, my mom's been suffering with some pain from sitting. Sitting just starts to really hurt back on her sit bone, okay? This will also benefit that. It just increases blood flow. And then go ahead and take that out, okay? And so we're going to work, ideally, if you could also turn on your belly on the floor and stick this right in here and wiggle around that way. Kind of hard to do when we're doing yoga in the chair. But if you can do that, you'll feel the same thing, these muscles. But we're gonna work them anyway, okay? So grab your block. You're driving to Colorado, right?
Pardon?
You're driving to Colorado?
Flying.
You're flying, okay. So go ahead and bring your foot up, and it's as high as you can go, but push it this way a little bit, the block, so that it, yeah. So it's not, we never want it this close so that that knee is not at a right angle. We want to work with the knee at a right angle. Hello, hello.
Sorry. He's not.
Oh, I know. Who's one of them?
It's not me. She's just the one who left.
Sorry. You're fine. You know what? Life happens. It's all his fault.
Debbie, go on, I'll get his,
It's right here. The blanket's right here. Blanket.
See, we got our phone.
I know. Look at you guys. You're just getting very yogi-ish.
Would you want me to strategy?
That's okay, just set. You know what? I have to tell an experience I had. I was doing yoga, and for whatever reason, I never take my phone into class, but I took my phone into class, right? My phone goes off, and I am humiliated. I just feel like, ugh. I was so grateful for that teacher. She's like, oh, guess what? Life just happened. Isn't that what life is? We just have all these funky things that go on. So, bring your block over here, okay? You're gonna put the leg up as high as you can, but remember, that is not, you want a right angle. You don't want this, you want the knee to be able to move more than a right angle, right? But you don't want to work it because there's no real muscle in here. So we're going to work the muscles around it to support that, okay? So with this here, okay, this and this will make a huge difference. You're just going to wiggle in and out. Can you feel that? Okay, now try to push into the block, because if you don't push into the block, you're going to get this. And if I see wobble, I know that you're not pushing into the block. It's just a really good teaching tool. So find that and push down as you wobble in and out. So we're working psoas today. Bring it a little further away from your body, the block. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're getting in there. Notice that as you push, your foot actually is going to rotate to the outside edge and in. It's the end that hurts, yes? The outside edge and in. Out hurts too. Out and in. Now I want you to take your fingers. Okay, this is our body. There's a bone right here. It's the top of the hip. You're going to run the finger down the bone right into the crease. And then with this up here, you're going to push the fingers into that crease and back and forth. Yeah. Okay. Can you feel that, Rogi? That's the psoas. Flipping across that bone. Okay. The psoas is engaged every time we lift the leg. Every time we're in a bend, like when we sit. The psoas is long. Okay, every time my leg is long, that's when the psoas is long. But if the minute I do this, I've now contracted the psoas. So look at what that psoas has to do, yes? Every move I make, okay? So I want you to try this. Slide it under the chair. You're gonna have to come to the edge of the chair. Be really careful. I'm on the top of my foot if I can. Yeah, take the blanket off, because you can slide better. There you go. Can you feel a stretch here? No? Try to push into your foot a little bit. Yeah. So and then you're gonna do this. Try to lean. Do you feel that? No? Okay. So for me, that gets the hamstring. The hamstring is not a part of the psoas, but they're right there next to each other. When this baby gets tight, and if you're walking, if you're climbing upstairs, if you're seated, they're working. So they work a lot. So lean back, take your elbows and let them rest on the back edge of your chair. Yeah, push into the top of your foot a little bit. I know, she's like, what are you doing now? I want you to try to wiggle. So you weren't here when I first shared, but you know, like my dad says, when he would try to tell me something and he'd already told me, I know Dad. He's like, yes, but you like to eat every day, don't you? Yeah.
Top of my foot.
Yeah! It's like, so there's a teacher at BYU, he's a dance teacher. I would love to go take his class. Go ahead and come back up and slide that out. Come out and wiggle. Now, just notice, is there a difference between here and here? Yeah. Okay, so move it over, second side. So anyway, he sent out a video about moving the muscle. Okay, we're just doing second side. Bring it further out. And you're just this. We're starting here. How's the knee bend? How's your knee bend?
Right?
What'd you say?
How's your knee bend?
Oh, it's better. It's better. It's not as swollen, Debbie.
And I
It's
can
still
see
there, but it's not as swollen.
Awesome.
How are your hearing aids?
All right.
I'm sorry. Terrible. Hate this old age.
So you're just moving in and out, in and out. Okay, push down with your foot, in and out, right? Push down with the foot. Lift your toes if it helps you push down more. Yeah. Getting in, just moving through that muscle. Beautifully done. Okay, and then bring it down. Tuck it under. You're going to be really careful with this one. I don't know if you can even do that.
This is my leg.
I know that is your leg. Okay. Try to lean and then back. Just lean back. That one, see this side? This is the side that the hip doesn't bother. I hardly feel anything. Bless you. But find that stretch. Try to push into the top of the foot.
I can't do it this way.
I know. Do you know, I'm gonna figure out a way that you can do this without having to reach back like this, because we've done this a couple times, and I know that's hard. And then release and come up. Pause. I'd like you to just lean onto close your eyes and just lean onto your forearms.
I can do this.
Yeah, you got this one? Okay. And then I want you to try to wiggle every little piece of your back. So this dance teacher at BYU talks about the movement of the body, the beauty of the body, of the movement. So I don't want you to just move the way you normally move here. Don't want you to just kind of back and forth, okay? I'd like you to see if that, just like you're looking for all the different places in your back. I sure am. In your back, that like, oh, here, exact wiggle, like shift your hips side to side. Find all this little stuff within your back. Find that movement. If you find a place, this is just like our balls, guys, just like using the balls under our feet. If you find a place, stay there a minute and kind of go, oh, yeah, right there. Yeah. Maybe it's better for you if you have your hands on your thighs, right? Maybe you can get a little tighter, or maybe you can lean and go back tight. We're looking for movement. Maybe movement that we don't make. Okay? Go ahead and take one shoulder and just find all of that movement in that shoulder. Do it both directions. Go up and down. So it's not just the traditional way. It's like, what if I wanted you to do this and move that shoulder towards this shoulder? Hugging in. Oh, feel the stretch that you feel here. And then pull it out, and there's a stretch in the chest. So you're just moving range of motion. And then go ahead and make circles with your elbow. Make them as big as you can. Up and back. And while you're doing that, shift your hips. It's almost like you're trying to do the hula. Shift your hips. I know. It's like, Debbie, I feel retarded. I feel awkward. Yeah. Make those muscles. And then go ahead and start on this other shoulder. Just circle. Forward and back. See if you can make shoulder touch shoulder. They're not going to touch, but if you try that, you get an extra little stretch right underneath those ribs. or into those ribs and under that shoulder blade, and then pull it open like you're trying to open, let your head go opposite. So we're just trying to find this range of motion. Go ahead and make your hands, spread them wide. Flex them, engage them, right? And then just kind of move them. You're gonna find that when you do this, your arms actually, the muscles of your arms are working better. Come out, come back in. You might have somebody go past you moving like this and they look and they go, what in the heck is she or he doing, right? And you just laugh because you're moving. Don't just go the same way. Find the different way. We have muscles that let us do all of this. And that's what the teacher was saying. And then pause. Notice your body. Feel how good the body feels. And we stop after doing that movement. Did that movement make you breathless? Not really. But can you feel the warmth? Okay. So, homework. I will include that on here as well. Wiggle in, just wiggle. Don't let yourself get into the habit of just doing the same thing. What happens with the same thing is overuse of the same muscle and underuse of the others, right? Nicely done. Okay. So, one more thing. Grab your purple strap, and they all should have, here, let's grab it. Can you get it? Do you have one, Larry?
This is maybe that.
Okay, you're gonna make, there should be a loop in it.
Hanglet solution.
You're gonna slide it through legs. Have we done this, haven't we? It comes all the way up. I want it through up on your thighs, so I'll come way high like this. And then you're gonna tighten it back up, which is this.
Now run.
Don't push out there. Let me get a little, there we go. There you go. You got it.
We're gonna be walking like a duck when we walk out of here.
Feet in, up to thighs. Tighten that in. I know. Okay, now push into that strap. No, a little bit more. Okay. Okay, we want to go a little higher. Oh, here's this hooked. Oh, that's maybe this. That has to be a certain way. There you go. And people love the shorter straps. I don't. I like the longer ones. Because you can use them for more things. Okay, so up on the thigh, and then we're going to tighten. How she's doing this. Okay, move your feet a little wider. Wider. There you go. How's that feel?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Good answer.
Yay, Joe.
Okay. Okay, we've got a summer of, this one's too thin. So you just make them bigger. So, when we travel, okay, the tightening up of the muscle. So, yeah, you get it in the middle of the thigh. You can see this is too loose, right? I tightened all of yours. I want you to go to a place where see how my legs are turned out, where you can't get them out. So you're gonna just tighten it to where you go in. I gotta go a little tighter, okay? And the knees can't get wider than the hips. They stay right there. Now, you're gonna get a little curve out. It's gonna feel that, but you're going to the top of that hip bone and the knees straight out there. Come to the edge of your chair, okay? Push into that. Does anybody feel a stretch on the low back? Right in the sacrum area. Push, yes, no? No.
Am I supposed to feel something?
What do you feel? Anything?
Nothing. I'm just straight over there.
Yeah. Does that bother your knees? Does that bother your knees at all? Do you feel a stretch
Yes.
in your hips? What I feel, this is what I'm hoping to get. and hang on while I do this. I don't know how to show it on camera. Okay, is right here as I go wide. This, because the thighs are going wide, right here stretches. Okay, that's what we're looking for. It gives space in that low back. It gives space. So when I'm driving long distances, I've got one of these that I keep. I can move my feet, right, and move that toe. And I want you to feel that. So let's become adjust a little bit. Okay, let go. Now,
Push it up.
yeah, push out. Very wide. You feel?
Yeah. You're very good.
All right, here's that all. Okay. Well, maybe this isn't a good example. You feel that up into your hips and low back? Okay.
You can't feel it, it's not happening.
Does that? Not really? Okay. Lose the strap. Just drop off. So that's one of the things, just creating space in the hip socket and in the low back. So just take your strap off. That didn't work. I feel that. So that's one of the things I use.
Are you pushing down with your feet?
I'm pushing out into the strap. Maybe not, maybe that's not where you need it, okay? All right.
I'm taking off.
Yeah, take them off. You can just drop it and leave the loop in it. And just take them off. Okay, take one leg long. Slightly bend the knee. You're gonna lean this way. I want you to push into that heel and try to pull the heel back without letting it move. So I'm trying to do this, but I'm not letting it happen. So pull back. Okay, engaging the back of the thigh. Push down with the heel. Pull back without letting it move. You can feel clear up into the sit bone. Yeah, that's working the back of that thigh. Go ahead and push the toe down. Try to push down and forward. Still keep a little bend in the knee. Down and forward, and then pull back with the same with your sit bone. So the foot's trying to do that. The foot's trying to go like this. It's not moving. The sit bone is trying to pull back towards the chair. So you're getting longer. You should feel a little bit of a stretch on the back of that thigh. Go ahead and lean forward, hinging at the hips, not this, right? Coming right into the hips, going forward, pulling back. And I want you to kind of vacillate back and forth. We're doing some movement today. So push that forward, pull back. Push forward, pull back. It's really just a shift in the hips, yes? Yeah. Push forward, pull back, push forward. So we're working the muscles that make up the hip socket because the psoas goes right through it. The thing that the psoas does is it doesn't stop, okay? The muscle actually goes through the hip, okay? And then release. You feel the warmth from the back here? Okay, second side. Heel. Okay, push down, try to pull it back. So you're trying to do this action, but you're not letting that foot move. If you have the mat, it is easier to do this. Push in, pull back. You should feel the engagement of the back of the thigh, okay? You're pulling the heel, you're trying to pull the heel towards the chair, but it's not happening because it's pushing into the floor. So it's just what they call an isotonic contraction of that hamstring muscle. And then release. Now push foot flat. Knee still has a little bend. You're pushing as if you're trying to push the floor forward, right? And then as you push, you're gonna pull the hip back. And then you're gonna do these little shifts. Still pushing forward, pulling back, and then lean forward. The lean forward gets you into the hamstring, okay? Because the sit bone is where that hamstring starts. So you're just wiggling forward and back, but still pushing down and forward. Now it's not a hula. I'm pulling this hip back, and then I'm releasing it, and I'm pulling it back, and then I'm releasing it, and it's like I'm trying to stick it back and release it and back. Very subtle movements, very subtle movement. In fact, to me, this is advanced work. When you start to understand how do I access and then release, and then just shake it out, okay? So working the legs, go ahead and bring the block back in. Now we are going to work the psoas. This work was more lengthening it, but now you're going to feel the quad and you'll feel in here. So whichever leg you decide, you're just going, you've done this before, you're going up and over. Notice it's as high as it can be, the block. See if you can totally lift over and back, and you're not doing this. Okay, let me use my arm. I'm isolating just my leg. When it starts to burn, just put a hand up. Okay, yeah. Keep it. Try not to even plop it down. And then slow it down. Yeah, it's like, oh, but it's harder. It's harder. One more, up and over and pause. And shake it out.
It's not hurting.
It's not hurt, it's not burning at all.
After this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That means that quad's getting pretty strong. Try the second side on your bad knee.
Well, this is bad news.
I know. So what happens, okay, when we have joints, a lot of it is that the movement, the injury is in the joint. There's not muscle in this knee. There's muscle here, and I got muscle here, but in through the knee there isn't. So what we want to do is strengthen the muscle around it, okay? Second side, here we go. Notice if it's different. Okay, try not to, yeah, no, use the muscle. Yeah. Okay, and when you get to a point where it starts to burn the muscle, smile and raise your hand. Okay. How about you feel it on this side more? Isn't that amazing? Not really?
It's just barely.
Barely, but it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was better. This was.
I know, it's like, I'm feeling this. And then slow it down even a little more, just one more. I know, did you see my one more? And yeah, let it go.
He keeps coming back, Debbie.
I know,
You.
that's okay. I like it. Okay, so that's this. Now we want to work the glutes and the hamstrings, okay? We've worked a little hamstring this. This pulling back will work some of it. One of the best things is our down dogs, okay? So move around to the back of your chair. I'll pull my chair up on, please, if you're on a hardwood floor, move to a carpet that doesn't move, something, because you don't want the chair to slide. So, reach back, stretch. Now, if I keep my knees straight and let my back round, I'm not working muscle, I'm into joint. So bend your knees, stick your bum back, okay? And now, we're going to play like we're on the springboard. We've done this before, like you're on the springboard of a swimming pool. Feet closer together. Yep, and toes, try to turn them forward. Okay, sit back and you're just gonna, it's not my knees aren't doing this. Can you see the difference? It's back, back, back. Just little squats, little push downs, okay? And then I want you to tighten your rear end muscle. So squeeze it a little bit. I don't want it squeezed so much that it would go like this and tuck you under, okay? But you want to squeeze it, and then it's almost like, probably a better example for me than just pushing down. It's like I'm trying to push the hips towards the heels, and then push the hips away from the heels. Pull it down, push it up. Pull it down, push it up. Pull it down, and there's a little squeeze. Does anybody feel that in their glutes? Okay. If you don't feel it, they're not squeezing hard enough. So push it down, reach it up. Push it down, reach it up. Push it down, reach it up. Couple more. So I feel like it's not really my heels on the springboard, it's almost like have you ever bounced on the edge of the springboard, diving board? Right? So you're sitting here and you're just pushing down and back. It's like you're bouncing with your sit bones. And then release. Walk it in. Wiggle it out. And then walk it back, and this time just go as long as you can. Slight bend in the knees, just stretch your body, reach through the legs, push into the feet, feel the thighs pull back. Yeah, stay in there, I'm just watching. Yeah. And then stop bending the knee, you just keep the knees bent and stretch. Now, try to do the hula. I'm going to show you right here. I'll come show you online in just a sec. So with your stretch, it's like you're reaching right hip, and then left hip, and then left hip. So I'm doing the hula, but I'm doing it bent over and then stretching that sit bone. Push down into your feet. Yeah. One side and then the other. So that looks like this. Instead of just reaching back, you know what? You're going to be able to see here. Okay, it's like I'm reaching right hip, and left hip, and right hip, and left hip, and I'm finding that range of motion. And then pause. Come all the way back up. Okay. For just a moment, go ahead and with your hands on the chair, just wiggle. That same thing we did seated. If somebody saw you, they would wonder what in the heck you're doing. It's okay. Even get it into your legs, like lift and let your legs turn out. Find this movement that your body can do. Okay, move it. Maybe shoulders, maybe waistline, maybe hips, maybe toe up onto the toes, right? Those kind of things we just sometimes forget to do. And then go ahead, come in, take your feet wide, okay? You're gonna try to come up on one toe, and you're just gonna kind of go with that same back and forth movement. Yeah, getting into the hip flexor, into that psoas. And then put it down and bend and kind of come in. So I'm flat on the other foot, I'm leaning onto the foot that has the heel lifted, and I'm wobbling that leg. And then, see, my toes are turned out. Now try to turn the toes forward. Bend the knees still, and then hold onto your chair, but I'm gonna come off so they can see on this. You're going like this. So it's again that hula, but it's with your feet. Does that hurt at all?
Mm-hmm. Well, it hurts, but I can feel it's not painful.
It's not painful. There you go. Okay. So this is one, I would do it every day. Just put your hands on the counter and just turn it out again. You can bend down a little bit, come into a little bit of a squat and just move side to side again. Yeah. Go ahead and for a minute, we're gonna do the tuck the tailbone, stick the sit bones out. So it's gonna look like this. These aren't the most lovely, attractive poses, yes?
I agree with you.
But
I don't have a guy to back me up.
they are. So the tuck under is this kind of a look. Try not to let the knees go in, and then stick it out, and under, and out, and under, and out. Holding on to something, okay? You can wiggle a little more if you want. You can bring it into there, but you're trying. So basically what we're doing is we're isolating this and moving the hip all around that. Because when we're here, right, the legs aren't really moving. I'm trying to isolate in the pelvic area, okay? And then go ahead and side to side again. And then come up, turn the feet in. This is different. Wiggle side to side. Yeah. Okay. Nicely done. So I had a request for psoas before you guys got here, so that's what we're doing. But this is such great hill. Then just go ahead and try to make circles. Yeah, and then make them the other way. And then just try to, yeah, there you go. This is a movement that really creates energy in the body. I'm just totally just jiggling. Remember our sloshing that we do on the floor with our toes? This is sloshing standing up. Yeah. So we're just looking for ways, right, to move this body and then go ahead and just come. Does that feel pretty good? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, one last thing. And this is just, I wouldn't do these every day, but these are really good strengthening exercises. You can turn, let me show you, and then turn to the side. You'll face those windows for the first one. You'll stand the leg closest to the chair. You're gonna hold on to it. You're just gonna do some bigger circles, okay? Bigger hip circles. So go ahead and stand. You don't have to turn the chair.
Oh.
I did because I want them to see it. Don't, yeah, there you go. Lift it up and lift it back. Try to make it really slow. You got it. Go both directions. So not only am I going out and down, I'm also going up and forward. Yeah. These are fabulous. You can do these every day. There's nothing wrong with this. Move it again the opposite way and then pause. Okay, try the second side. So just turn around, go to the second side. Yeah. The leg that's closest to where your hand is the straight leg. Move the other one. Okay. Think about getting in and out of the car. Yes, that's the movement you're creating here. When you're ready, go the opposite direction. I'm climbing back in the car. That last leg is coming in. When you come, go ahead and change the directions again. It's like I'm coming out. I'm stepping out of the car. I'm stepping out of the car. Come the other direction. I'm coming back in the car. I'm coming back in the car. Coming back in the car. And release. Hold on to something and wiggle again. Just that sloshing back and forth. Yeah. Okay. Take it wide. Take it long. Reach. Stretch. Just hold. Breathe. Stretch out the legs that you've used. Push into your feet. See if you can bend your knees slightly and just reach your hips as far back as you can get them. The opposite action is your head reaching as far forward as you can get it. Feel both those actions. As if somebody's holding onto your hips and they're pulling the hips this way. Somebody else has got your head and it's pulling it that way. So you're lengthening the spine. You're using your muscles, right, to lengthen that spine. Okay, with this length, will you just jiggle the hips again? Just that wiggle side to side. It's kind of like the hula, but it really isn't. It's just a jiggle. And then come all the way back up. So I find that kind of work. Yeah, you're using muscle. It's a fabulous thing to do. So fabulous work. Let's come on to the floor. Come on to the floor. Start your windshield wipers. Okay. I'll turn the light off. Grab your, you guys get your blankets ready. You know what to do. Come on, girlfriend, you're ready. Knees bent, side to side, there you go. Let your arms just be by the side. If you got stuff in the way, just push it out of the way. Yeah. There you go. I know, the hardest exercise of all. Getting up from getting down. Yeah. But look at you guys do it. Okay. So let's turn this around. This will be better. There you go. Side to side with those knees, windshield wipers. So we've given ourselves a roll underneath the neck. And support on the head, and we're just letting those knees go side to side. Not moving faster. It's just a slight drizzle, and we're just barely moving. Go to the range of motion. Inhale all the way up, exhale, they go down. Inhale and exhale. You'll notice that today we didn't really do a breathing exercise other than breathe. Making sure that you're breathing. Beautifully done. Go ahead and take your feet as wide as your mat. Take them wide. That's just a different into the hip. Yeah, you got it. Breathe. Let the knees go wide, side to side. Yeah. I don't know about you, but when I saw this video, and I will send you a link, right? And it'll be in the show notes down at the bottom. This idea of movement of the body and the sheer wonder. He played Spider-Man on Broadway, so you can tell that his body can do lots of funny things and fly. But the whole idea of finding all the intrinsic little things. And then the other thought we talked about was not going in haste, not being in a rush to get it fixed, being okay, trying to learn all the lessons that we have to learn about what's happening. This life is going to be messy. It's going to be not fun sometimes. It's going to be fun other times. Our nature wants to be fun all the time. But we've all raised, and we know that fun all the time is not going to help them progress to become adults. We have fun times, no question. We have hard, difficult times. We have icky times. We have times when I've been on the road for how many hours and I still gotta go this many more hours, and you just are ready to be done. Slowly work your way into Shavasana. Bringing in bolsters. Put them under the knees. Is that okay? Is that a good place, or does it need to go? Let's come over here. Go. Another hand. There you go. All right, sir. Right, had to adjust there. Putting something under your knees will help the hips release, the low back release. Being okay, just let everything now. Shavasana is, it's a peaceful place. No expectations. Letting everything just sag, letting gravity support us. You will have thoughts come. That's fine. Our brain is meant to think. But just, you don't have to dwell on it. You can just say, oh, great thought, and push that on out. And then you'll probably have another one come. And that's okay. That's what it's meant to do. Push that one out as well. So I'll think about you later. Giving ourselves time to pause. So often in a gentle class or a restore class, this pause can be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Sometimes that feels a little difficult. Usually leave you right here, and I will again today, but I let you have a little bit more quiet. If you have the opportunity to stay just a little bit longer, go ahead and do so. If not, don't go around, oh, I didn't have time to get that all done. I don't have time, and beating yourself up. Doesn't do any good. Be grateful for the time that you had, the time that you spent. Remember how you felt, maybe how you feel now. Namaste.